Hey everyone, Strangers123 here today with yet another replay cast. We are looking at Carefree Tongue from NA server clans that are playing with a Midway. Now before we get on to this is a old Midway, well, old. This is a 222 first iteration with Tier 10 Fighters Midway. Didn't really change too much of what you do, you still go around deleting stuff, because that's just Midway. But what changed really was your reduced capability of doing BS strafes. Your strafes got a little bit nerfed due to DPS nerf. And of course, your ability to fight Hakurios got slightly nerfed as well, especially in terms of strafe survivability and strafe damage overall. Of course, if you head on Hakurio, you're still going to have a slightly better time of it, because, 7 versus 5 planes. But, yeah, anyways, going with an airfield launch here with the very standard aggressive Midway launch, double torpedo bomber, double fighter, and then double dive bombers up into the air. And, we have AS and what's not. Let's see, we go get rid of the map view, get it to work. Looks like we're sending a lot of stuff towards the middle of the map, not a bad choice of roll. Now we are running AG bombs, which is quite nice because only the enemy turrets would actually be vulnerable to them. So AG bombs are likely going to find themselves serving us a lot better than AP bombs would in any way, shape, or form this match. Fighters finally taking off, and we're moving our ship to the southwest already. So I'm guessing that's just some weird replay bug with the map view. Personally, I suggest headwind launch up here and then this way, and then we can circle around and decide whether we want to go down here or not. Especially considering we're sending some strike planes up towards the Charlie side of the map to figure out what's going on down there. Well, down there is even up there, but figure out what's going on up there and make our minds up. Because I personally find it really bad to just go head on straight towards Alpha, although this is NA server, so chances are Carefree Tongue knows that the meta seems to be South team goes to A, and, well, is already preemptively doing so. But we do need to be careful if the enemy aircraft carrier tries to make a play down there. We could find ourselves in some trouble if we get shot at by, too many battleships, and we're not in a good position to tank that. Anyways, we run into the enemy Missouri. We also run into the enemy gearing enemy gearing Missouri and Lion. And the enemy carrier striking south, which means the best move we can make right now, realistically, is just to go gank this enemy fighter over there, split number 3 up a little bit, and just aggressive tag strafe on it immediately. Doesn't seem like the enemy aircraft carrier is paying attention to this. His planes are currently being flown into, that's just a wipe. He's currently flying his torpedo bombers into North Carolina, Lion, Iowa. That went about as bloody well as you'd expect the result to go. Looks like we spotted enemy Yamato and Turpit's group on the western side of the map, going to try to drop on them. In this kind of a situation, we're just going for the alpha drop. The enemy fighter is not even on the same continent, and the enemy Yamato is realizing what's going on, so a bit unfortunate that we're not just sending one of our fighters in there to tag up these float plane fighters. The Yamato is one of the really poorly played away turners. In this kind of a situation, he's probably going to get away with it, but do not away turn torpedo bombers. Away turning torpedo bombers is a fancy way of saying, please torpedo me and kill me, because I deserve it. But regardless, AA blob there does actually deal a little bit of damage, and, well, looks like the Turpus just is going to take a torpedo as well. Unfortunately, we don't actually clip him with the second one, but is he still flooding? Anyways, our torpedo bombers are tanking some anti-aircraft. It looks like the Midway enemy on the enemy team just finally figured out what was going on. I think the Turpus is still flooding. Regardless, we're just throwing away planes to make attacks. We might as well just go straight if the enemy dive bombers on retreat path right now. Looks like we're going to head up to do so. Enemy aircraft carrier does not have AS. Enemy aircraft carrier has evasive maneuvers, it even appears to be. So that is a very good indication of the lack of capabilities of this player. The Turpus is still flooding! That is actually a really nice spot of luck. The enemy Turpus is still flooding. We can aggressively tag the enemy fighter over there and just go and strafe disengage it. Obviously the better option would have been to have fighter number 2 kind of up here and then just going straight down there, but this is a more than good enough thing over there. Wipe the dive on the retreat, and this fighter isn't even trying to counter lock us, so we just need to bail number 3 out. If possible, number 3 should have been bailed earlier, but we do seem to get away with it. But we're now out of our arrow, so it's time to return to base. But that's actually a pretty good result. He's still flooding! Wow. You must have damage on single fire like you do in a tier 10 game with enemy torpedo bombers coming your way. And he's getting blatted as well. Alliance getting into an awkward position, but what's normally suggested is dive bombers to set fires, flooding to kill, but in this case we kill the Yamato and we make a complete mess out of the Turpins as well because he didn't have a damage control party. So that's a really nice spot of luck for us. Granted, just killing the Yamato would have been a good enough result overall. We basically also killed the enemy Turpins as well. I think we just picked up like 50-60k damage for free off him. Enemy aircraft carrier now finally attacking our isolated Lion, and we have incoming torpedoes. I'm pretty sure there's no way we can dodge this at this point, because we didn't kind of react to the shimmy torpedoes early enough, so looks like we're taking 20-kilometer torpedoes because bloody reasons. Hey, amazing. So there goes 12,000 of our health and a damage control party. This is kind of why I don't suggest moving a carrier aggressively towards the west side of the map. If the enemy aircraft carrier just puts aircraft to spot us, we could potentially be in trouble if the enemy team, despite all sense of logic, open up on us. Anyways, so we're doing the right thing here, moving a strike towards the enemy Missouri. The enemy fighters are never going to come online to defend, so it's a question of whether or not the gearing has defensive or not. Knowing this is a random non-survivability gearing, chances are the answer is no. And the answer clearly is no. And the Missouri did take a lot of damage. It looks like he might even be trying to stay inside of the smoke screen, but there's no way he's slowing down on time. So a little bit of an overkill drop, especially considering he just took additional damage there as well. And the smoke screen's now gone. So that's a kill on the Missouri. Very overkill. We could have potentially just used one of the squadrons to do the job and maybe send the other towards the Lion. Faced with a little bit of a conundrum over here. What do we do with a dive bomber? It's like a little bit of a question kind of thing. Do we dive bomb the gearing, or do we try to drop them on the Lion, kill his anti-aircraft, set some fires, and hope for the best? Enemy fighters are currently airborne. Looks like he's chasing our, the dive bomber that he's too late to do something about. It's a Lion. It's highly improbable he's going to be using a damage control party, so we might as well just go in there and click him again with the second squadron, picking up our Witherer with a single fire there. I probably would just send this fighter over to the side here and just pull up and then strafe on the way back, but I guess we're just going to bring our second fighter squadron in there for ye olde case of, hey, here, have a strafe disengage. But the enemy aircraft carrier, ooh, he is executing strafe disengagers. Interesting, but he also failed to follow up and finish the bail, and now he's doing another one, so that's a free kill. That is a guaranteed free kill for us, so we lose 0 planes to kill off the enemy's 6-plane fighter squadron. Might lead to AA, but there we go, 1 blood to anti-aircraft, but it's not a major deal because we just shot down 6 for a grand total of 0 losses, and the enemy aircraft carrier has decided that paying attention after just literally having done something because dive bombing a Lion is more important. He's losing all of his fighters as well. So that's actually quite a nice thing for us. We get the free kill on the enemy fighters, free and free. We're losing a couple of planes to anti-aircraft, but that's not a major deal. We're more than ahead on the enemy carriers. Fighter replacements, and at this rate, there is actually a chance he might run out of planes before the end of the game with the way he's been feeding his fighters to us already. So that's not a bad result overall. Although, unfortunately, it did come kind of at the cost of not really properly defending. That's kind of the downside of the Midway overall. Well, even the Hakurio, just downside of getting desynchronized fighter gameplay where your fighters are, being forced to stay the fight that they may not really want to because you want to cycle them for the ammo, but you can't because it just takes a long time. So it's much more a problem for the Midway compared to the Hakurio. And if a Midway gets all of the fighters bled and the ship is very far away, Hakurio can make 2 strikes in the process before the Midway gets the fighters back up airborne and towards the middle of the map. More so now than before the tier 10 to tier 9 fighter nerf because, squishier, so they're easier to wipe. Easier to deal damage to, easier to bleed. They still have a lot of ammo. They have less DPS, which means they're going to take longer to kill your stuff now as well on top of that. So there's a lot of things that play into this overall. Anyways, with a Lion like this, he's currently on 40k health. And if he doesn't have good AEA, chances are he doesn't really have the greatest AEA left anymore. And he just took a lot of damage, He took enough damage over there that if he's gonna just sit there and I'm not really sure what he's trying to do, this is more than enough alpha damage to upfront kill the Lion. And we can just RTB our torpedo bombers with him having killed a amazing 1 plane, but that Lion is dead. Dead as dead can be. 6 hits of the 11 that were dropped, and more torpedoes coming in. I probably would suggest trying to at least do something to dodge them, because, we're really close to combat over here. Yeah, we're taking one. Nothing to do about that. We're only taking one at least, so that's something to something to get out of that at least. Anyways, Gearing is currently spotted. He's firing in the middle of the open. He doesn't have a smoke screen, so chances are the Grosser Shimmy group are going to absolutely make mincemeat out of him. And come on, 43 health. Oop, there we go. Kurfa secondaries nails the kill. That's one less destroyer. At this point, probably would have tried. Oh, nope, looks like he's just flying planes right past. I really would suggest dodging these torpedoes. Dodging these torpedoes is more important because if we take a flooding, we die at this point, basically. We take a torpedo here, we die, and it turns out we get lucky that we don't die, so that's actually kind of useful. So, a little bit of a spot of luck here. Again, this Hipper currently doesn't have a plane to defend. We can send... Oh, he's launching one now, but no, I just suggest take squad number 6, drop only one squadron, so we don't dump it all on him. If we get lucky, we can wipe him out up front, but we don't. That's kind of a little bit unfortunate. That's why it's suggested just to drop one squadron, make him think that we've dropped 2, to bait him into damage control parting, while we're now turning our ship, look at we're turning it towards somewhere less unsafe than the middle of the, the enemy blob. Good attack on the enemy fighter, that's a free kill for us. Shimmy AA even turned on, but the Northern group is under attack. Nothing we can do about that, again, because of desync. Well, not server desync or anything. We just have desynchronization between our fighter cycle times and the enemy aircraft carriers, area of operations, if you want. Anyways, we do pick up an assisted capture in the Midway because bloody reasons, but now is more than good enough of a time to actually start doing something about the enemy team coming up behind us. We've dealt with the enemy threat in Bravo Charlie coming up from the northern side, so now it's time for us to start de-gearinging our backsides. He's probably got a Yugo friend there as well, so we do need to be careful about an attack we make over there. Chances are their BB carrier is a BB killer. What does that make you, my friend? Does that make you a plain waster? Because that's clearly what you're doing right now. He's enemy carrier BB killer, says the guy that sends 2 torpedo bombers into Iowa full HP Lion and North Carolina group. Sinking. Your planes certainly are sinking. Anyways, both enemy targets are threats. That's slightly underled. If we'd gone for the full lead on the first squadron's original drop, we maybe could have killed them with double center hit, but we actually cleared one. I thought the gearing could accelerate out of that fast enough on time, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The second, the enemy gearing commits suicide. He fails to... Clearly not a carrier player, because a carrier player would instantly recognize the commit from the torpedo bombers and been able to evade that. That's a spot of luck for us. We need to continue running in a straight line just to build distance between the Athlon and the Yugumo. Thankfully, the plane won't spot us. I don't think the Hipper's a threat. We're sitting... the Yugumo is in fact close enough, which is a bit unfortunate. I bet you this New Orleans down on the south is really low HP. He's been in combat for a while. But I would be personally sending these type bombers towards the Yugumo just to figure out if the guy is using torpedo reload booster or a normal, a proper normal smoke. Turns out, if he does have a torpedo reload booster, then just clicking on him with our dive bombers, because the Hip is kind of out of range at the moment, and trying to click him with a plane up without our plane there, and we do actually get panicked. If we could force, for example, the Yugumo to smoke up, and if we had gone with a good old proper drop earlier with the trying to do the debating of the damage control party, or just lead him low enough that you can just put the death of the next squadron. Double fire on our deck, that's definitely time to get rid of that. Double fire does a lot of damage to aircraft carriers, and there we go. Finish, pick up the problem-solving parties for the fires, but that means that, well, we need to kill the Yugumo, we need to kill the Otago, otherwise we're in trouble. No, New Orleans completely fails to salve against the Yugumo and goes down to the Otago, although it does give us a little bit of a respite, if you want, in the sense of not being shot at. And we're just running, as long as we can run in a straight line, the Otlol is actually not in range to engage us. So we only actually have the Yugumo as a potential threat. And there's nothing we can do for the stuff up north. If the enemy caps Bravo, so be it, it's not a big deal. If we can kill off the enemy ships without too many losses, we're actually still in shape. So now this is all about ensuring we kill this Yugumo. The Otago has abandoned the chase against us, even though he's more than capable of catching up to us. And the enemy Yugumo commits suicide at this point, so we don't even need the second squadron to use on him. That Yugumo is dead, there's no way he can survive this. Oop, he's gone. So we can use the second squadron for the Arthalol. deploying some of our fighters up there to try to help, well, deployed all of them up there to help out against the enemy's Midway. Iowa Turpin's group is currently in combat. Ooh. The Article makes the absolute right choice, trying to close a distance to the island to force us to go to the other side, but the problem here is he's got no option but to in-turn us at this point, because if he tries to out-turn, if we force him into an out... Oh, that is unfortunate. I bet you what happened was that... because you see this little icon that you can't order attacks on it, so... Oh, he's not going to continue in-turning though. Yeah. Because he got himself off the island enough, that's... This is basically a wasted drop. Of course, if we got the full drop on him to kill him up front, that would have been amazing, but unfortunately we don't. Our planes here currently underneath the enemy Turpins. Turpins AA and the Spectre is not incredibly good, so I don't think this is too big of a problem. Our Iowa gets a really good salvo against him, but in return the Turpins does a decent fair damage. Turpins, I'm willing to bet you the Turpins made the mistake of torpedoing way too early, so he goes down without trading the Iowa. Had he traded the Iowa, the enemy team would have had a chance to win, because we're just solo HP. The enemy Midway can just send one dive bomber at us, force us to defensive, or fight to defend. So, if the enemy carrier had realized this, he could easily have killed us off at any given point in time. There's not really much we can do about it. Just send some stuff up north, realize our dive bombers are up there. Our fighters are up there trying to defend against his rather obvious strikes. I mean, to me, the obvious move is kill the carrier. If you pay attention to the fact that he's low HP, and the team probably would have informed of that already. So we've recognized that. We've pulled our fighters down just to spot the enemy Midway, and to try to make it, life difficult for him as much as possible. Personally, with this much time left of the game, though, the Artigo is not really a problem. We can torpedo bomber him to death. That's not a problem. He clearly does not have defensive AA, because if he did, he would have used it against us already. And if he does have defensive AA, we just pull our planes out, come back 40 seconds later, he's dead. The thing here is that the defensive that's actually worthwhile to try to kill is the enemy's Midways. Just, using 2 dive bomber squadrons, sending one at the Midway at a time from in front of him, just to reduce the time of... that we spend under an enemy anti-aircraft fire. Dive bomb the enemy's Midway, and we actually get pretty nice timing here. We actually spot the enemy's Artigo torpedoes as he's deploying them against the Iowa, so chances are the Iowa is not going to have any problems dodging those, and if he takes any of those torpedoes, he really should consider checking up on how to recognize the path of travel of straight line things. I mean, I know people have issues with it, so it's just a matter of practice, I suppose. But the reason you send a single HE dive bomber against the enemy Midway and then send another one over at him later on, after he's damage control partied, or come back again when he's forced at the defensive out of him, is because you can kill him later on. Because an aircraft carrier defensive lasts 2 minutes, I think it's 3 minutes, or 2 minutes 40 or something weird like that with the upgrade. Because at this current moment, the Artigo is not a threat. We can torpedo bomber him to death at any given point in life we want. And looks like NA server hits. Don't you have secondaries on that boat? Yes. But if he's smart, he won't have 10-kilometer secondaries on them, because that is what we call stupid. So that guy has basically said, I do not know how to play this game, which is kind of nice. There you go. Someone finally pitches in. Well, I mean, the interesting thing is, why would you know this kind of a number? It's weird. Anyways, it turns out the article does actually have defensive AA. So, he was playing with the devil. If we had gotten the proper commit here, he would actually have just died there, actually. But hey, he's got defensive, so it's no big deal. We can just go in and kill him later on. Enemy aircraft carrier still hasn't realized where we are, judging by the way those torpedo bombers are going. But, I mean, it's not a big deal. We can just keep our fighters there, because it's still stopping him from making any real moves nearby at the moment. Decent enough drop, but I think it's going to kill him. I don't think he can slow down in time, and he didn't. So, second squadron was a little bit excessive. He's close to spotting us, and personally, the torpedo bombers are the bigger threat. I mean, full alpha dive bombers can't do something. And at this point, I would just press the T for stats, because 1 minute left. And I'll just auto-click the Midway with our dive bombers, because the torpedo bombers are never going to get there. We actually get the clear sky, but there's no reason not to defensive anti-aircraft right now. There's no reason to care about strafing away our torpedo bombers. They're never getting anywhere useful. Although I'm willing to bet at this point, we're actually not paying attention to the battle timer in the top right corner. We still haven't triggered a defensive. Very big mistake over there. But, I mean, it's not a big deal. What we need to do is to ensure we do not take a torpedo, because if we get alphaed by the dive bombers, we can actually die. 25 seconds left of the game, no reason not to instantly damage control party that. And there you go. That's his strike gone, and that's his evasive maneuvers slowly pulling the planes away. We're only going to get one click on him, I think. I don't think the second squadron is on time, so we might as well just fall alpha. The enemy aircraft carrier hasn't even realized that he needs to press D for stats himself, and this is the amount of damage that a non-panic squadron can do. And if, of course, if you get unlucky, then even a panic squadron can still do that to you. So, bit unfortunate we don't get to breach the 300,000 damage mark there, though we did get lucky with the enemy turrets at the start of the match, which we did get the flooding on for complete free. Hopefully we have the post-battle results screen to see how much flooding we did to him in total, because we only hit one torp on him. But yes, we managed to get the Witherer thanks to all the flooding. Death Strike, Confederate, obviously with this many kills, and a lot of them high alpha. Clear Sky with 97 plane kills as well, thanks to the enemy aircraft carrier for feeding. High Caliber, obviously with this amount of damage and some good NA server memes. That might just be me though. 3.7k base XP, very solid result. Well, beyond solid, really great result. Getting almost 4k in a carrier is really, really good. Like there's absolutely no denying that. And a non-ranker, so that kind of does say something about a player's knowledge of the game overall. This is quite a while ago, so this is probably during the first season, so it might be why we're seeing people without defensives, and it is NA, so there is not as high of a carry population there, so chances are fewer people with defensive, more people with Hydra, although granted the enemy Ottigo actually had defensive himself, but you see how much that did for him, not much. Bit unfortunate we didn't get to pick up more damage in the end, though. We could have killed we could have dealt with the enemy's Ottigo later on, because he made the crucial mistake of not killing us. If he had killed us off, that enemy Ottigo could easily have won. But because Ottigo does 37.2 or something like that with speed up with signal, and the Midway only does like 34, 35. So the Ottigo is easily able to catch up to us eventually. Because he did end up leaving the Yugumo out to dry, and it didn't even defensive for him, so kind of wasted defensive on the enemy Ottigo. He should actually have basically died when he was still interning us on the island. Very good move to use the island by the enemy Ottigo, but he should have defensive when he realized we had a perfect side arm drop on him. He, at that point, could have easily died. It's just unfortunate that we had the cannot give strike order on existing move order problem. I don't even know if it's a bug at this point. It's just Wargaming hasn't done anything about it. Really annoying. But yes, let's have a look at the... No, I do want to look at the detailed report screens. Game, Yamato's 80k damage. I mean, we got triple fires, so the end result was the same, realistically speaking, although could have been executed slightly better. We get the really nice bonus of this Turpitz, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's his Turpitz. Or someone out there. We don't even get to see it, but we get to flood a lot of that. So I'm pretty sure that the Turpitz was the only thing that actually we got a sticky flood on. So that's basically 39k flooding damage on the enemy Turpitz, which can't actually be true because of the fact that... Oh, I don't even know. I don't even care. Whatever. We got a lot of damage off that at least. 76k off damage over time. Never mind. Yeah, we got more fire damage off other stuff later on for the Yeah, no. Actually, no. The number makes sense. It's all from the Turpitz. Alpha damaging the Lion down was a nice riddance. Thing about these things is if you go for damage over time and you don't know exactly when the heal comes online again, then you run the risk of them just out healing all the damage over time you've done to them. Granted, it's free damage to come back and farm later on, but in terms of winning a rather closer game, this game was... We were down like 200 to 500 at a certain point in this match, so there more than existed a chance for us to lose. If the enemy Midway had been smart about it, he would have simply gone and attacked, harassed... even if he didn't attack the kill, he could have harassed our aircraft carrier. Just send a random dive bomber at us every now and then, just with a threat of killing us. And make it so that we either have to, use fighters to defend our own ship, in which case he can more freely attack the enemy's, his enemy, our allied team. Because that's the thing, he never actually realized that we were so low HP, again, because we bled damage through torpedoes. If we didn't bleed damage through torpedoes, this would not have been as risky of a match. Granted, if we hadn't bled damage through torpedoes, we would have been farther away, so it is a risk-reward deal. Personally, I do not value it as a high enough reward to try to move a ship to a committed flank. And this is the important thing about ACAP on Trap. Mind you, it's old Trap, the actually playable map, and like the new one, I really dislike it. But if you do get yourself into committed cap, which A is, staying center is not a committed position. If the enemy team hard pushes or they breach and you can't stop them early enough, or the enemy carrier just lobs fighters there passively and plays really passively on that side to stop you from dealing with them, and their death blob kills your blob, and well, you're screwed now. So just be aware of this kind of a situation possibly happening for anyone watching this. Really, it's not just for Gary Dung here. It is for absolutely everyone watching. Do not overcommit your carrier as much as possible. Keep it close enough to keep the cycling. And in the end, I don't actually think cycling would have mattered, because even just sitting a little bit further back, because we dawdle away a lot of time potentially in strikes here, we wouldn't have made hasty. They definitely looked slightly hasty against the gearing, but we get lucky that he commits suicide on us, on our torpedo bombers, instead of just dodging them properly, which he easily could have. But yeah, so we get away with that, which is very nice. Having a look at our losses, 20 fighters, 21 dive, 22 torpedo, pretty nice lineup there. Having killed 41 of the, I think, 45 total fighters in the Midway gets, which is an incredibly good result for us. The enemy just fed them to us. Not so much in strike, but then again, if you look at the team scores over here, we can see that the Iowa line that were fed at the start with the other, I'm pretty sure this was the other Iowa further up north, and the North Carolina that also got fed a few as well. You know, these guys did pick up the rest of the stuff there. I mean, we picked up 90, and there's still another 26 from here, and there's a couple of spread around here. Some of them might be flow planes, but I'm pretty sure this is an actual fighter. That might be even a fighter, because one of the shimmies here at AA on earlier on in the game. I did notice that. So we basically had the enemy aircraft carrier completely out of aircraft, which is quite a feat in a Midway, honestly. I mean, in this kind of a match, it means he's expended his reserves properly, because you know he ran out of aircraft at the end, you know, post his last attempt to strike. Granted, the damage he did was absolutely minimal. The only reason he got any experience was he clicked one of the shimmies for some reasonable amount of damage, because 10 planes shot down and not so much damage overall. You know, this is kind of what you would expect to be on the score screen. Credits and XP. Let's see. Servicing. Is that the signal? Or is that camo? I don't even know. Military months contributor clan bonuses. Restless Fire camos for additional commander XP. Not a bad result overall. This was definitely a very good game. 20k captain XP out of that as well. Not bad at all. Although not really a heavy XP focused spec, which means that because all your free XPs, your captain XPs, all the stuff is based off your XP gain. If you want to boost everything up, this kind of stuff like super high, same for your free XP, you want to boost is super high. The thing that matters the absolute most is boosting your experience gain, because everything is based off this number here, basically. Kind of. It's how can I put it? Because these numbers over here are basically all of that, right? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this replay cast. Hope you found it useful, hope you found it entertaining, and most importantly to me myself, I hope you guys found it educational. I do try to produce content that may not be, it's not as much like a lot of the other community contributors who just post content that is for entertainment. I try to post content that is for educational purposes, to improve people's gameplay, pick up mistakes, pick up things that went well and whatnot. So if you would like to send your replays in to the replay cast, there is an email address in the description below. It is replays.strangers123@gmail.com. Send me a replay there. Give me a description of anything in particular you would like to have looked at. If you want me to look at your tactical mistakes, your tactical successes, your strategic mistakes and successes, things like that. Anything specific you have in mind, drop a message in the email and I'm sure to have a look at it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Take care, and I will catch you guys in the next one.